What is up, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome, David.
Good to be here.
David's a friend of the show.
I am a friend.
friend.
Common contributor.
Common contributor, co-host, David Yarbrough, ladies and gentlemen, the Yarbrough man. Hey, jump in with some interesting news. So, on Amazon, you ever shop on Amazon? I don't know, maybe you don't.
Probably too much.
A little bit too much. So you go on your app and you're shopping on Amazon. There's a new tagging thing they're going to put on there that will say a warning for products that are frequently returned. Right?
That's interesting.
It got me thinking. Amazon, they've got their own products, Amazon Basics, and they also have other private brands that they own and sell, of course, on Amazon, but they don't tell anybody about it. What's the threshold, I wonder, for getting that frequently returned warning versus not getting that?
Yeah, I wonder if they're just taking the real data and just saying, hey, by the way, people order this and they don't like it.
Or
because
it's apparel or sunglasses or
that I could see. See, I don't buy a lot of clothes on Amazon though. I know they have that whole return. Yeah, that's the other thing that's interesting. If they have that where you kind of try it and return it, surely they're not counting that in the frequently
Well,
returned.
they are. I think that's the killer of it. Now let me ask you this: what if you're Amazon or an Amazon backed company and you can afford to say, "Hey, David, that shirt you don't like, it's not the right size. Keep it. We'll send you a new one, but you just keep it." So
Well,
they don't get that tag.
yeah, that's interesting. That could change everything as well. I don't know. It's weird that they do have that policy sometimes, but it's been a while. I don't return a whole lot of stuff. I mean, every once in a while there's just inevitable something you get or don't need or whatever. But I, it's been a long time since they've done the whole, yeah, just keep it, even on something that's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it
even
depends.
want it anyway. I mean, I no reason I want to return it. I don't need it.
I don't need it. I don't want it. But some items I know from working in e-com for so long, it doesn't make any sense. It depends on the margins. If the margin's big enough, yeah, I want it back as a seller. I can still make profit off of it. But if the margins aren't big enough, I don't care about it. Just keep it, man. It costs me more for you to ship it back to me. By the time I ship it back out to somebody else, I've lost money. Just keep it. Give it to
Exactly.
your cousin. I don't care who you give it to. Give it to somebody.
Yep. Yeah, I did have one the other day that I did have to return, and they told me to keep it, but it was like a scam type deal on a little drone thing I bought, and I tried to cancel it, and the third party didn't cancel it, this, that, and the other, whatever. And Amazon was like, "Hey, we already credited you. Keep it." But the other thing they say is, or donate it. You can
Or
donate it,
donate it. There you go.
which is
So you
good.
donate, get that tax break.
Yeah, I guess. That's funny.
That goodwill tax break. Everybody's at. You ever show up with a bag full of clothes and it's like, they give you the blank form. They're like, just fill
This
it out
is
yourself.
this is $1 million worth of clothes.
He is a generous guy. The other thing Amazon's doing now too, they've got the sort of return centers in Kohl's and places like that. But I think now and I have to read more about this, but if you look at it's $1, they'll charge you $1 to ship something back if you're going directly to a UPS store or something like that. There's certain parameters now where Amazon will charge you $1 for shipping it from somewhere other than like a Kohl's center or something like that.
I've never figured out how that works because I like going to the UPS store. For me, it's very convenient. It's right up the street, in and out. Never, they're not busy. The Kohl's thing is okay, but you got to walk through the entire store to get to the back of the store. But I've not figured out yet because every once in a while, you're right, I'll get the extra charge to use UPS store, but not to use Kohl's or Whole Foods is another one.
Whole Foods, yeah, Whole Foods. You know what I like about Kohl's, and maybe I'm the only one that does this, but here's a life hack coming to you from Intangible Commerce. Take the kids shopping, take the wife shopping, go to Kohl's, get yourself some new pants, get yourself some Kohl's cash, and then drop your Amazon returns off a week or two later when the Kohl's cash becomes available. because
Yep.
they give you that 5% or 10% off coupon for everything in the store, right?
That's right.
So now you got
Double
Kohl's
up.
Cash and a 10% discount, and they stack.
They sure do. What you can't do is use their discounts on most of their cool items, though. Like you have to do that exactly
Mm,
what your life hack is the way you have to do it now. You can't do it the old way where it's like, hey, I want to go buy this hoodie, and I'll get 30% off. It's like that's not going to happen. Not
no, they
anymore.
don't want to do
It's
that. They
usually
don't want to do that.
excluded.
Yeah, excluded items in the fine
Mm-hmm.
print down below.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just a lot of interesting things happening, of course, out of the Amazon and the Walmart. We've got the so far, and there could be more, but 30,000 job cuts in specifically in e-commerce fulfillment. And then we've got the dollar for returning thing. So it looks like Amazon's doing two things from my perspective, and I'd love to get some feedback for the 6 people that are listening. Give us a little comment, and wherever you're seeing this at, if it's on YouTube, you can comment. Spotify, you can't. Just shout out loud; we'll hear it. Uh, why, you have to ask, in a world where ecom seems to continue that growth factor, there's an expected lull that apparently is coming. The recession is effectively here. I mean, we've got prices that are insane for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
People just aren't shopping right now
Mm-hmm.
as much, it seems like, but they are still online. These job cuts, the dollar for the shipping, they're obviously shoring up the books, trying to keep that valuation high. Is this all just for the investors?
Well, you almost think so, and then you look at it and go, how much would we as consumers be willing to pay to continue doing what we do? In other words, how much can we change that process to unfamiliar territory, but yet it doesn't affect Ray's buying habits? Are you still
Yep.
going to go buy stuff? And is that
Yeah.
dollar really important? And two, think of it like this. And I don't know enough about I don't study, that part of the economics of it, but depending on middle class versus lower class versus your, super wealthy, that might have an impact on how they buy.
Absolutely. And it probably, I mean, and you're exactly right. Hey, at what threshold
Hmm.
can we stretch this until it just isn't a problem anymore? Excuse me. I was just sorry. I was just looking over to my left here because I had to remember how long I had for the commercial later on. So I was
Oh,
multitasking live
you're
here.
fine. You're fine. The other thing that's interesting is, I don't, if I'm going to buy something, I I don't I'll search it. So here's my buying habit. I go and say I'm going to buy this pen right here, and I'll go to Google and search it, find the number, like a part number, the correct part number, search it on Google and let Google drive who's got it. Then I'll go in and start figuring out, okay, am I going to buy it on Amazon? You know what I mean? That might be different than some people. Some people go to Amazon to do that, but I do it a little
That's
different.
yeah. So Amazon versus Google search Oh my God, statistics.
Hmm.
That number has been shifting, and I think it was set that Amazon was going to take them over this year, where Google used to be for years.
Hmm.
What was it? Yahoo, Ask
Hmm.
Jeeves,
Hmm.
right? Who remembers Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves.
Remember
Wow.
that, right? And
Oh
now
yeah.
it's Amazon. But for me, and why I still use Google, and maybe I'm one of the few, but it's gonna give me more search results. Where
Hmm.
Amazon is only gonna give me what's on Amazon.
Correct. Yeah.
So you're
That's
kind of siloing your options if you
you
just
are.
look in one source.
I just like to see who's got it. Maybe I can see more details. I mean, I'm always a little apprehensive about just using the Amazon search because I don't want to get fake products, which I don't know if that happens that often, but I'm very wary of that. I buy a lot of car parts and stuff online, and I'm very
Mm.
cautious about where they come from.
Amazon being the most popular search engine for products. So I think there's a good distinction here,
Hmm.
and we're going to generalize, but so there's some conflicting data. 54% apparently 54% of people search for products on Amazon first.
Hmm.
That was in 2020. As
Okay.
of 2022, that number rose to 66% of US consumers start their online product search
Interesting.
on Amazon. That is a big, big number. But I
Mm-hmm.
think what's the distinction there between product and service commodity? Like, what are the types of items? Is it apparel? Like you said, hey, I don't buy apparel on Amazon. I don't buy,
Mm-hmm.
but I will buy this, this, and this. Those categories matter for me, especially if I'm an e-com seller. And sort of, I guess, one of these elements of intangible commerce being what is the specific search criteria that's being reported upon? Because if I'm an apparel seller and I'm not on Amazon, and 66% of people 2 years ago used exclusively Amazon
Mm-hmm.
to search for new shirts, and I'm not there, I'm losing a huge amount of sales opportunity just from that alone. That's important,
Yep. And also just figuring out people's buying habits because everyone's a little different. Whereas,
right?
I'm the type of person I like to go to like Costco and get clothes, or even
Okay.
Sam's, which some people may think, well, that's kind of weird. It's like, well, actually, it's not because they have during certain seasons they got all your stuff that you need. Like I just had a big run to Sam's and stocked up on I just changed out all my golf apparel because they have
There you
all
go.
their golf stuff and it's just right there. I can see it. See, that's the other thing. I can see it. I can touch it, which you still can do that on Amazon, but I still haven't got into the whole buy
Not
it,
the
try
same.
it, return it. It just doesn't, even though you could argue it's the same, I don't have the time to return. And
Well, apparently Amazon doesn't like that either.
no, they're going to flag it anyway. And I don't know, do they flag the person? Surely not if it's at buy and try.
Yeah. So if you initiate a return, it has to be the thing where it's initiated probably through their portal. Otherwise, they're not going to necessarily know about it. But I know there's some distinction. If you do that
Hmm.
and go outside of Amazon's realm, they do not like
Right,
that. You'll
right.
get strikes. Don't want strikes.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, then the other thing, I know we're talking Amazon, but I just saw an article. I know it's everywhere, but the Bed Bath and Beyond stuff. So you have
Hmm.
actual retailers that, not not getting away from the Amazon conversation, but you also have that is a huge change in the way that um, you got a big company that I think they're going to close all 360 stores eventually. We have one here that's still
Yep.
open, as far as I know.
The one there might be one in Louisville. There were a few, and they've all shut. I think it's down
Wow.
to just one now. But even that, when you look at like the products Bed Bath and Beyond sells, it's basically everything I buy online now.
Correct. I wonder though, are they shutting down their online presence?
Oh, I doubt that. I doubt that. But the store extension just doesn't really make any sense for today's buying market. Like I actually just bought new sheets and I went on Google to find out, hey, what's the most comfortable sheet? They were trying out different sheets. Now I did use Amazon to buy them because I knew the return process would be super simple. So
Hmm.
there's a bit of market intel for you folks that are out there selling sheets. Amazon's the place to be because I know I'm going to be able to take it back in 30 days
It's true.
if I
That's
don't
very
like it.
true. Yeah. No, I just hope that we don't see more stores following Bed Bath and Beyond. Oh, not only from a selfish of shopping standpoint, but I'm talking just a competitive standpoint, as it keeps the
Mhm.
prices, I feel like, in check. Because as inflation's hitting us, we want to make sure that we again, margins are going to be slim anyway.
Yeah.
I have a feeling as consumers, we're going to have to just say, you know what, it's going to cost me a little bit more for this pen,
The
unfortunately.
the benefit is consistency. So for the benefit for the company, and I think some other business owners on here might actually agree, with e-commerce, it's really consistent in terms of pricing. You've got these for brick and mortar. There's different fuel surcharges and
Hmm.
expressway charges and etc. And does it have a lift gate? Does it have a dock? Like to get the product on the show floor? What's the local labor market look like? All these factors are playing into it. But you look at what Deliver Shopify have done in the 3PL market. They've got these extensive networks. They don't have to worry so much about the cost of getting goods around. When you can just spread goods out based on data, you could predictively know if I send 20 units, I'm going to sell 15. The other
Mm-hmm.
5 are safety stock.
Yep.
And I can predict my margins so much easier. Economists love e-commerce for its stability. You and I love it for its employment rates.
Yeah. Every 2 weeks, I love it. So, also the one thing that we haven't said yet, and you just touched on it, is the selfish piece of I'm interested. I'm watching all this happen, but in a way, I'm going, huh? I just became more important. I'd say I just became, but my company just became more important in this process, almost to the
Yeah,
point where they're going to be reaching out, going, okay, well, costs are up, can't find folks, got to have help, got to do more with less. There's only really one way to do that.
Are you setting us up for a segue into the Lodua commercials?
I think I was.
All right,
You
I'm
got
gonna
one?
follow your lead. I'm gonna cover the commercial today, and I'll give
Okay.
you the commercial next week.
Okay.
Now, for your benefit, I stretched it out to a full 13 seconds.
Whoa.
Okay,
All right. This is going to be good.
it's a long commercial. So when you look at the e-commerce market and what folks are trying to do, you need visibility in your products. You need a powerful business rules engine. You need the ability to automate your processes in the warehouse. You can't be fooling around with stuff. You can't be sitting here saying, "Oh, I don't have labor." Your buyers don't care. You have to produce, and we enable our clients to produce every single time, the most consistent, most uptime, and we, outside of Amazon, power the largest network of fulfillment warehouses in the United States. Lodua.com. Reach out to David and I. David, the Yarborough man, or
Man.
just Ray.
Or just Ray. We have to give you a nickname. Roberts. What can we do?
That's
Ray
hard.
Julia Roberts.
No, we're not going there.
Ray Lake Roberts.
Ray Lake. Oh, that's right. I do have Ray
See?
Roberts Lake.
You're famous. Still
Man, I'm
Yarborough Lake.
deep as an ocean.
Well, good job on
I'll
the
give you.
Lodula spot. I like it.
Hey, I didn't practice that. I just do it every day.
It was good. It was good.
It's a great company. Great company. Well, I'm going to leave us with a bombshell revelation.
Okay.
I, Ray the Lake Roberts, have never stepped foot in a Costco.
Whoa.
I've never been to a Costco ever.
How do you live?
I don't.
So,
I don't know.
so I'll tell you the genius thing about Costco. And there were many, many years that it's kind of like I'm going to pull two things together that have nothing to do with each other, but it'll make sense. It's kind of like back in my Android days where I never wanted to use an Apple product. But once I did, I could never go back.
Can't go
I
back.
was I was just like you, Ray. If you go back, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was, I
Wow.
had never gone to
Wow.
Costco. And one time I did, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then I learned that not only is it the greatest thing ever, but it changes. The inventory changes
Ooh,
weekly, I guess. I mean, sort of.
wow. They've got a sweet rotation schedule.
Well, and then so you walk through and it's like, well, I didn't see that last time. And now I look through my house and it's like that came from Costco. I can like point things out that I got, and they got a good return policy. You're a return policy guy.
Oh, I am.
They theirs is whatever, whenever. They don't care.
Company
They
after my own heart.
they do not care, and they'll take care of you. So I don't.
I
That is interesting though. Now, do you go to Sam's?
I have done, but I don't currently.
So you just don't do the big, you know.
I don't buy a lot of bulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more like local produce, and I buy stuff that will cook over a 3-day period or something
Hmm.
like that. There's a few items I guess I could see that we would buy larger quantities of.
Yeah. Well, and the Costco online experience is interesting too. It's the same thing as their stores where they have it one week, and the next week, if you don't get it, it's probably gone.
We talked more about Costco than anything else, and now I'm going to make it my life's mission this next maybe weekend. I don't know. I'm
We
gonna
want
go
you
to
to wear a
Costco.
GoPro and go to
Yeah,
Costco.
yeah. They won't notice. I'll just like duct tape it to my
Yeah,
head.
yeah, they won't. They'll have no clue. Yeah,
I'm not a secret shopper.
it shows your experience. Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh, and on that bombshell revelation, that is going to be it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for, I think at least 7 people watched this, and we
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
all 7 of you.
yeah. We changed someone's life today for sure.
You change my life every day. And on that, we'll have a good one, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you, everybody.